Dream Duffel and Anderson EV, but I think it's now time to go down to the grid. Let's have a little wander down to the grid because qualifying has been completed. I do believe it is the only way is Brentwood, who have got pole position. Now we should say pole position is a good thing to have, but this is an endurance race. It does not necessarily define your 24 hours. That being said, though, we are going to have a chat with them and others across the course of the next 20 to 25 minutes here at Buckmore Park. Thank you for joining us here on Alpha Live. If you're new round here and you don't mind doing so, give a press of that subscribe button and the like button as well. Share the stream with your family and friends. As I say, we will be on the air with commentary throughout the whole 24 hours. And it really is. There's a nervous tension in the air with this event. It was such a special one in 2022. I mean, the event sold out in less than 10 minutes for the 25 strong field. But there's so much that's out of the drivers and teams' control, especially at this stage of the race, and the race has not even begun. Let's have a very quick look at the karts, because this is obviously a very important part of the race. Here are the karts that the teams are going to be piloting for the next 24 hours. They are all the Sodi RT10 fleet here at Buckmore Park. Essentially, all of them are the same piece of machinery, two 390cc Honda engines. You've got adjustable seats and pedals because, of course, drivers will need to accommodate for that across the course of the race. But you've got to take care of them, especially in that first half of the race, before you get to the service stop, which will be at halfway. And each of the drivers will have to, or each of the teams, I should say, will have to come in and have one of those. But the grid forming up now. Now, how the race will start, for those of you perhaps who haven't watched one of these races before, this is going to be what we call a Le Mans style start. So this is how the Le Mans 24 Hours, the biggest endurance race in the world, used to start. You used to have your drivers to my right here, and when the Union flag falls at 2:30, they will sprint across the circuit, get into the cars, into the karts, and then drive off. Now, that in itself can go wrong. We can have drivers overshoot, get a bit too excited. We could see the Brentwood team lose the lead even before we get to this checkered flag line here on lap number 1. Let's go in and have a little chat with some of our drivers there. I'm going to grab Charlie Ratford, if it's okay. Charlie, pole position, must be pretty pleased with that.
Yeah, it's really good to be on pole, everyone else behind you. Hopefully we can pull away, but it's so close. Like, I don't know how this race could go. It could go any way, because I think top 5 are all within a tenth. It's really close.
It's nice to have pole position, but it is an endurance race. How are you tackling the early stages of this race?
I think just try not to battle. The least we battle, the better, because we want to pull away from everyone else. Then I don't know. We don't really want to battle for like the first 20 hours or 22 hours until like the last hour, then maybe. But just try at least battling as possible.
Who'd you like to thank for the efforts and who've got you here today?
Yeah, I'd like to thank the whole team and especially Bo for putting us on pole. He's done really good.
Good stuff. Have a good one, Charlie. Let's have a chat with the Accelerate team. Now, they had pole position 12 months ago. They'll start the race from second on the grid. Accelerate, how are we feeling today?
Accelerate Ken Brewery Racing is what you're going to be calling it.
That's, yes, because you've got a sponsor.
We do. We've got a massive thank you to them. Best real ale brewers in South East, so ask your local. But yeah, we're really happy with where we are. Not quite the start of last year, but the main thing is we get through it without any problems. We've got every driver we have a massive amount of faith in, and we're just going to max out every stint, do what we can.
You had pole position last year. You're still on that front row of sorts in being in P2. What have you learnt from 2022 that you're going to use today?
Good question. Treat every lap like a qualifying lap. Communication with the team is important. Don't pick up warnings. Race well with the guys around you. It's going to be tight. That's the main thing, is that last year we were a little bit ahead of a lot of people, but this year the front 4 teams in a tenth of a second. It's just going to be so tight for the first 2 hours. I'm not really sure. I mean, who is the guy in front? Do we know him at all?
I'm not quite sure who's starting.
I don't recognise him. I don't think he was doing it last year, was he?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Well, have a good race, and we'll see you across the course of it. That's the Accelerate Racing team. Let's see who else we can find. I want to have a chat with third place in Harrison Kirkham, if we can. This is the Adrenoco racing team. Now, the third on the grid, but I think this is a very, very strong team. They've got some good drivers. Harrison Kirkham, yes. You were racing in Club 100 sprints last weekend. This is a bit of a different kettle of fish in endurance.
Yeah, exactly, slightly. I've done the Club 100 endurance, but this is obviously nothing like that. It's my first time doing the 24, so excited for it.
I've heard a couple of people around the paddock saying you are their dark horses, that you're under the radar a bit as a team.
Yeah, probably. I believe the boys competed in 2020. I think they came third overall, so they've definitely got the pace. Hopefully we'll replicate that or go slightly better.
Good stuff. I'm going to step in and have a chat with Sam Lovelace as well. Sam, you've done enough laps around this circuit in the BUKC here on Alpha Live over the years. There could be a bit of wet weather later on in the race. Is that going to be an important piece of experience to count on here?
I certainly hope so, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of locals here, so they've got a lot of track knowledge, particularly in the wet. So, yeah, it'll separate the boys from the men in the wet, I would say, in terms of knowledge. But in terms of for us, I don't know. We'll see.
Good stuff. I'm going to have a quick word with Dante. Dante, you've been on absolute fire so far this year in BUKC and Club 100. Into four-stroke corporates here for the 24-hour. You feeling confident?
Yeah, feeling good. Obviously, no prior practice going into it, so just last 10 minutes of practice in the quali is all I had to go off, really. So to only be half-tenth off on drivers who do this a fair amount is good. Yeah, it's promising. Good to be high up on the grid, and looking forward to another good race, I'm sure.
You've had to do a lot of traffic management, shall we say, in the BUKC. I was saying with Sam, the wet weather, a good experience to lead on in this race. Traffic management one as well?
Yeah, completely. Obviously 25 kart grid, so not too bad. So maybe should be quite clear for like at least first 10-15 minutes. But then we'll see. Yeah, it's always, the endurance race is always about traffic management, race progress, all that type of stuff. So this one will be no different.
Good stuff. Have a good one, Dante. Good to talk to you. So Dante, as I say, he has been on absolute fire so far this year in anything I've seen him race in. Number 6 there. I'm just going to have a chat with Sean Dabin if he doesn't mind for a second. Sean, good to see you, mate. Fourth on the grid for this one. You can do something from there.
Definitely, yeah, definitely. We got a really strong team, really competitive. It's like a 10th between the top 4. I'm confident.
Obviously, you won this race last year. You had some thrills and spills along the way. I think our commentator cursed you at one point, or at least one point. Yeah. What is key to be in P1 when you get to the end of one of these races?
Clean, stay out of trouble. That's it, really. Just clean, stay out of trouble. That's it. That's all.
Good stuff. Have a good one, Sean. We'll catch you in a bit. As I say, that is a very high quality top 4 straight away. I'm going to step in with the Dr. Vapes team if they're okay. Who I think have had a late promotion up to the pro category. How are we feeling, guys, ahead of this one?
Oh yeah, we're feeling great. We're feeling great. Ready for the 24-hour for sure.
Who's starting the race for you?
The man over here practicing his race start, is putting his seat in position, getting ready to, you know, have a fiery start, let's just say.
I'm going to have a chat with the man I've now started calling Super Mo based on his exploits in Club 100 so far this year. Mo, I'm going to think back a few weeks ago. It's a very different style of race, of course, but your racecraft this year has been pretty good. You know, you had that C to B to A final run at here in Club 100 a few weeks ago. How are you feeling?
Oh, mate, I'm feeling chuffed. I'm actually really glad that I've had a good run at Buckmore so far, you know, and I'm feeling positive, man. We're P7 overall, so yeah, it's a good start to the day.
How did you come into karting? When did you start?
I actually started back, a year ago now. My younger brother Murtaza, who you just spoke with, he's been in it for a couple of years, and yeah, just, you know, I tried it a few times, and I was like, yeah, this is it. This is good.
Are you enjoying it? How does this kart say compared to as still a relatively young driver? How does this kart, a heavier kart, compared to the Club 100?
Oh, it's a different character, totally different character. You know, I came here earlier in the week just to, you know, get a bit of grips of things, and I was doing what I was doing in this car, what I was doing in the Club 100 car, and it's like, what? No, you don't do that in these karts, or you have to do that instead, and it's a total different character.
Good stuff. Well, best of luck, Mo. Have a good one, mate, and we'll catch them in a bit. The point that Mo was touching on there, These karts are heavier, but they've got a bit more power. They're closer almost to like a conventional racing car. You've got to be a lot smoother with these karts as opposed to, we've mentioned Club 100 as one of our Alpha Live streamed events where you're more chucking the kart into different corners, especially round this circuit here. Let's have a delve into our, because we've got two groups, we should say. We've got the pros, who are tending to be to the front of the order. We'll keep a track of them as they go through the race, the first 10 numbers, and as I say, I think the Dr. Vapes team have been promoted as well. You've also got the clubmans, who are going to be fighting for this one tooth and nail as well. I'm going to jump in and have a chat with some of our YouTubers, our F1 YouTubers. I'm going to try and grab Ben, if he's all right.
Hello,
Ben,
how are we?
Tiametmarduk.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
First time talking to you, but I've been watching your videos for many years. You feeling good?
Very much, yeah. Feeling good. Apparently I'm starting the kart, which is news to me because I was eating a big lunch 15 minutes ago, so that's going to be interesting, but we're looking forward to it.
You've done this race before. It was a bit of a baptism of fire in the rain before. Are you more prepared for it this time?
You can never be overly prepared for these races. You've got to expect the unexpected. Feels a lot more physical this year, but I know the track, I know the kart, so should be a good race.
A couple of technical issues I can see going on there. Hopefully you'll be carrying one of our onboard cameras.
Yeah, nothing wrong with the kart. It's just setting up the camera and making sure that all the cables stay in and stuff. So fingers crossed, because we want to bring you guys a good coverage.
Good stuff.
Thank you.
We'll chat to you in a bit, Ben. Get a quick word with Jimmy. Jimmy, good to see you, mate. Since we talked last year, a lot's been going on for you. Yeah. How are you feeling ahead of this one?
All right. I mean, I'm not really sure how we're going to do this year. I mean, I'm not actually driving this one. I'm here as moral support, which may be bad actually. But we've got a pretty decent team. You know, with this team's in the rookies. Last year we were in like the pros with the other guys, so a bit of a different experience here. But everyone seems fairly happy with it, so they seem fairly ready to go.
As a Team 87 effort last year, what did you learn in that one that can be carried over into this one, especially with some newer drivers in here?
Well, I think mainly it's about maximising your pit stops here at Buckmore, because everyone's so close at the start that if you spend 10 seconds extra in the pit lane, that's going to take you 10 laps, then claw back if you're a second lap quicker, you know. So it's just about trying to maximise everything and be efficient with everything, and that's quite hard with new people because they're a bit soft sometimes. Like you got to really jump in the car and jump out of it. They're like, oh no, get out nice and soft. So yeah, but I think it'll be a fun race. I think it'll be all right.
Got to ask you as well, it's not gone unnoticed by me. We had a chat about this again 12 months ago. We've got two Williams esports teams here. We've got Olympus esports as well. That surge that we talked about of sim racers coming into real life and having a go at this, it's happened.
Yeah, it's awesome to see. You know, I mean, unsurprisingly, sim racers are quite fast when it comes to the real life stuff because that's all we do at home. So I think it's great to see something like Buckmore, you know, a big event, start seeing all these teams come in, and you know that's what we are. We're all content creators from racing. Before, you know, this we had not much racing experience. So yeah, I think it just goes to prove how effective the sim racing stuff is.
You're not the only all YouTube team here. They've got the Señor Frogs back again. Is there a bit of a rivalry with them?
100%. We've been telling them if we see you, you're going off. It's like, yeah. I mean, no, we're not doing that.
Good stuff. Thanks for talking to us, Jimmy. We'll catch you again later on. Jimmy Broadbent there. I'm going to hop in with Tom Leighton from Zesty Drink. Thomas, how are we doing?
Yeah, we're all right. We're qualified 15th. It's not really where the pace of the kart was, but you know, I think we had a couple of traffic issues and stuff like that. So we feel like we can do better than that. And obviously, it's a 24-hour race, so yeah, we'll see what the 24 hours brings.
How have preparations gone for this one today? What have you been up to?
I've had 3 Red Bulls and not enough sleep.
In terms of racing as well for endurance, I think you've been doing a bit of Club 100 endurance in the longer formats. What have you learned from those races that you can transfer into this one?
So I mean, the main one's not battling with people. You know, you lose a lot of time battling. So for us, we're just going to keep our heads down, try and overtake. If we can't straight away, then hold it out, because no doubt someone will make a mistake and can get past.
Good stuff. We'll have a good one, Thomas. We'll catch you later on. I'm just going to have a chat with one of our sponsors here. Sir, how are you doing?
Very well, thank you.
What originally attracted you to this event today?
My daughter is in the rookie club here, so we're here just about every week.
How does it feel with it? It's a packed grid here. It's a hive of activity.
Brilliant. It's the first time we've come to this. Absolutely, well, the amount of people, Brilliant event so far. Just hope the weather stays off and it stays a dry event. And then otherwise, if it's raining, obviously it's going to be very interesting.
We definitely hope it's a bit of rain. Spice it up a little bit in the middle of the night.
She loves the rain.
Good stuff. How did you get into karting originally?
My dad put me up for one of the junior events.
How are you finding it so far?
Very fun. Can't keep me out of a kart now.
Is this an event that you're looking at competing in potentially in future years?
Hopefully next year.
Good stuff. Well, thanks for talking to us, and we'll catch you again soon. Can I have a quick catch up with Rich, if he's okay?
Hello.
Rich, how are we doing?
Yeah,
we're back again for another one of these.
We are.
It's bigger and better than ever.
Yeah, and we're doing a 24-hour stream this year, which is the first time we've done that. So we're very excited. It's going to be a challenge for everyone. The staff are used to getting through the 24 hours, but it's a marathon for everyone.
It is indeed. I know we discussed this a little bit last year. We talked about taking care of the karts. The rain. I think a couple of drivers are worried about a bit more inclement weather than we had last year.
Yeah, I keep looking up. There's dark clouds up here. The forecast is saying all sorts. So I'd be very surprised if we didn't have some rain. We have got these new Dunlop tyres on these karts, which are a little bit better in the rain that I've heard. So it'll be interesting to see. Hopefully it will stick on a bit longer.
Where's my man that you want me to talk to as well?
Harry from Twitch. I don't know where he's gone. But yeah, we're streaming this on Twitch for the first time as well, so it's great to have Twitch on board. We've been streaming on YouTube for a couple of years, but having the Twitch stream. But what you want to go down to, unfortunately, at the very back of the grid are the Señor Frogs. I've just been down to have a chat with them, but they've definitely got a job to do now.
They have indeed. Let's go and have a chat with them because we've got a couple of minutes there. Thanks to Rich for talking to us. Let's step right on in. And have a chat with the guys. I know a lot of you have tuned in to see the Señor Frogs. Here they are back. They were the surprise package of 12 months ago and did an absolutely brilliant job. I'm going to talk to Calfreezy. Cal, you are
principal, by the way.
You are. What kind of team principal are you? Are you a?
Well, not a very good one. We're starting last. So
more like a Gunter Steiner.
What's that?
Bit more like a Gunter Steiner.
Yeah, sure. Well, yeah. You know what? He's got a better personality than me, though, so I'll try my best. But look, we're starting in last, but we're making a video out of this, so I think the storyline writes itself.
It's the redemption from the back.
It is. It is.
Good.
Look, it's a tough start, but I'm sure we'll do well. And Will's going first, and he's going to do the job.
Good stuff. I'm going to have a quick chat with Ethan. We had one of these chats last year. It's a different job, this one, but we know you've got the pace from 12 months ago.
Absolutely. I'd like to think that we've got a load of consistent drivers. So I think across this time of 24 hours, we can pull something out of the bag.
How's Calix feeling this? Because it's his first time doing this.
I think he was a little bit nervous during the practice, but we know that he's got aggression. And I think maybe, hopefully, fingers crossed, we can use that to our advantage in the race.
I've heard that Will's started. In fact, he's got his helmet on, so I won't bother him now. He did a good job starting the race last year.
He did, yeah, and he's got like a decent amount of racecraft, so I think he could probably navigate the early sort of bundles quite well. So, yeah, I've got faith in Will, and he'll do the job on the first little stint.
Good stuff. Thanks for talking to us, Ethan. We'll have a very, very quick chat with Chip, because he was their star man last year before we head back up. Chip?
Yes.
Is the pace still there from last year? You did some Sterling laps last year.
Yeah, last year we were pretty good. I mean, last year we came here in practice, put it in P2, and this year we're starting in last. So we don't know. Cyber skill issue, or maybe there's something wrong with the car. We don't know. We'll figure it out. But I don't think we'll finish last.
You're a lot more experienced as a whole squad than you were last year. What's the big thing that you've learned from last year that you're taking into this one?
Little voice crack. I think it's just overall pace yourself. Use the advantage of a tow from the other car and just follow the fast cars. Just genuinely, last time we were losing a lot of time battling other cars. We're losing half a second a lap, when in reality you could be working together using each other's engine power to catch up to the rest of the pack.
We had a little bit of rain last year. It could be heavy this year. You worried about it?
Not too worried. Everyone's got a little bit of wet practice now, so we think we'll be all right. Yeah.
Good stuff. Well, thanks for talking to us, mate, and we'll see the guys later on. So yeah, that is your grid walk. I really can't put it into words enough of just how excited everyone feels down here. We've got the Le Mans start, which you can make positions up from. The Señor Frogs will definitely be looking to do that from the back of the grid. It is a very, very tough first, I'd say, 6 hours. You've got to survive those first 6 hours and build your way into this race. We saw last year teams with 2, 3, 4 lap leads that just disappear like that with one mistake and a bit of bad luck. But do stick around with us here on Alpha Live across the course of the 24 hours. You're not